This is Tino number 1. Crafted in oak by a Piemontese barrel maker, it was used to make the famous Vermouth di Torino. It is part of a story of a city that made vermouth as a drink for kings. To the Tino came wine from the vineyards of Piemonte, aromatic herbs from the foothills of the Alps, and exotic spices by rail from Genova. It was made for Luigi Rossi, master herbalist of Torino, who joined forces with Alessandro Martini, the wine merchant. In this Tino, they created the most awarded vermouth in history. It is the legacy of one of the last of the original vermouth makers to remain in Torino. And now, over 150 years later, it inspires us again. The Vermouth di Torino is reborn. The traditions of Italia, the artistry and passion of our master craftsman, bringing together the finest ingredients from our homeland in Piemonte. Fine vini italiani. Red wines of the Nebbiolo grape from select parcels in the DOC vineyards of Langhe. White wines of the Moscato Bianco grape from select parcels in the DOCG vineyards of Asti, each hand-selected by our master winemakers. Italian aromatic herbs grown only 10 kilometers from our home. 3 types of Italian Artemisia, Absinthium, Pontica and Vulgaris, to give sublime complexity, and Roman chamomile for its fresh, floral beauty. Following the authentic traditions of the Torinese herbal shops, where Luigi Rossi first made his blends, we bring exceptional botanicals from across the world. Red sandalwood from Central Africa, yellow cinchona from Ecuador, and Chinese rhubarb. The extracts then rested in traditional oak Tino barrels for 2 months. The way it was in the days of the kings. From the red wines, Rubino, full-bodied, rich bitter, woody, herbal and complex. From the white wines, Ambrato, medium-bodied, light bitter, floral and honeyed. The perfect aperitivo with tonic. Or in the classic vermouth cocktails. A genuine original. Born in Torino and made in Torino, as it always has been since 1863.
Dear speakers and guests, my name is Anna Scudellari and I'm the Martini Archive Consultant. Today my presentation will be focused on heritage as a source of authenticity, inspiration and communication. Before starting, I would like to sincerely thank the International Council of Archives, Business Archive Section, and the Center for Business History for the invitation and the great opportunity to present our work in front of this prestigious public. Please accept all best wishes from Jackie Sergeant, our Global Archive Manager, and from the archive team of the Bacardi Martini Group. The first point I would discuss is: what is a company archive? The company archive is a permanent department which keeps original documents. It is a collection of business records created by the business during the course of the business and which have historical interest. The Martini Company Archive is based in the historical Martini factory in Pessione, a small town near Turin in the north of Italy. That's the place where, since more than 150 years, the company has been producing its Martini vermouth and sparkling wines. The Martini Archive keeps memories of more than 150 years of company life. For that reason, it represents a unique and irreplaceable asset. Reflecting the long story and values of the brand, it is a rich source of inspiration and authenticity. In 1899, at the end of an impressive reorganization, the Martini Archive was declared of remarkable historical interest by the Italian Ministry for Cultural Heritage. In 2005, after many years of researches on the archive, the Mondo Martini Gallery was opened to the public to tell the brand's story. The museum is today part of the Casa Martini Brand Home. The second focus is about the archive contents. In the images, we can see some examples: correspondence, administrative assets, registers, awards and certificates, photographs and films. But other items are part of a company archive: posters and sketches, labels and bottles, gadgets. Compared to a traditional archivist approach, these are some quite original categories, but because we are providing a service for our company, we are obliged to keep example of all areas of our business, and of course, they are an important part of the company's function. We are now approaching the third point. What are the functions of a company archive? Safeguard, management, and enhancement are the three elements of the answer, which is based on what the Italian law says besides our experience. Safeguard includes all those activities done to recognize, protect, and preserve heritage in order to assure it to the knowledge and use of the community. The first step is the knowledge of the value. In 1899, the Italian Ministry for Cultural Heritage recognized the Martini Archive of remarkable historical interest and put it under the protection of law. The property is still private, but the value is public. The declaration was motivated by the possibility to tell, thanks to the Martini Archive, the complex story of an ancient and dynamic Italian company merged in a multinational group without losing its own specificity. The second aspect of safeguard is protection. Cultural heritage can't be destroyed, damaged, exported, or misused. Finally, I want to mention the preservation, which permits to keep the heritage integrity, identity, and efficiency. For example, constant monitoring of the items permit to schedule restorations, and you're watching some beautiful images from an old film that was restored and brought to light in 2015. According to the Italian law, the second function of an archive is management. This point gives me the pleasure of introducing to you the Global Archive Team of the Bacardi Martini Group. The Martini Archive, based in Italy, is part of an international structure which includes the Bacardi Archive in Miami, the Whiskey Brand Archives and the Bombay Gin Archive in Scotland, the French Brand Archives in France. Every archive has its own peculiarity and work both on specific activities coming from the brand priorities and on common international projects with scientific or communication aims. The third key task of a company archive is the enhancement, which includes every activity designed to improve the knowledge and preservation of cultural heritage. Enhancement increases the enjoyment of the public and transmits the values that heritage brings by itself. The archive activities give rise to many collaborations with both private and institutional partners. For example, we are partner of the Italian Ministry for Cultural Heritage in the portal dedicated to the company archives. We are also partner of the National Archive for Industrial Films with an agreement for the safekeeping of our video archives. Since 2007, Martini has been member of Musei Impresa, the Italian network of corporate museums and archives that since 2001 has been enhancing the Italian business culture. The association brings together 60 archives and museums of those Italian companies that decided to show their heritage to the community. Musei Impresa maintains a constant dialogue with private and public institutions and promotes industrial tourism. It also conducts research, training, development, and analysis in the fields of museology and business archives. Finally, the association organizes the Week of Corporate Culture, promoted every year by the Italian Industrial Federation, with an extensive program of events open to the public and focused on the business culture. In 2015, the Martini Archive led a work group organized by Musei Impresa and aimed at creating a new national standard for the description of bottle and liquid containers. The work was carried out with the active participation of Martini, as well as other companies in the beverage sector, in line with the spirit of the association, which is to promote diversity while identifying common themes that can be better managed when brought together. The Martini Archive supplies information to external users and takes an active part in educational tours that are organized at the Brand Home for guests, agencies, and journalists, a journey through the history of the brand and the Martini products. However, 70% of the requests to the Historic Archive come from internal users of the group. To this end, inductions are organized to make employees aware of the Historic Archive existence, of its contents and mode of use. The purpose is to concretely demonstrate how the archive can be a supportive service to business activities. Our teams of master blenders, brand ambassadors, marketer, advertising personnel, public relations and communication staff, as well as our legal teams, consult the archive for inspiration, authentication, and brand development. The Mondo Martini Museum uses the archives as a source for its rotating exhibit items. The following slides will show you the most important activities carried out every year by the Martini Archive. The archive supports the advocacy team in programs organized for barmen, guests, and agencies of the beverage sector. For example, in 2015, the Riserva Speciale Ambrato and Rubino were launched as the two new products of the Martini Gamma. At the top right, you see a moment of the training for professionals, and the video that opened my presentation today was created to launch these new products and show the importance of honoring the past, looking to the future. In 2016, the Martini Grand Prix International Final took place in Milan. The origins of this important competition for bartenders, which is still an essential event for those working in the sector, dates back to 1966. At the bottom left, an image showed a panel telling the evolution of the prize that was realized thanks to the researches and historical contribution of the Martini Archive. The Historic Archive supports the innovation team, which works on special projects for new products and packaging. The bottle on the left and the one in the center were launched in 2013 with limited edition for the 150th anniversary of the brand. In both cases, packaging was totally inspired by the historical Martini labels. On the right hand, the design of the new packaging launched in 2016 for all the traditional Martini vermouths. It threw the bottle into a new era, while maintaining the key elements of the Martini label's history, albeit in a modern and renewed form. The new bottle also contained the iconic Martini racing stripes, demonstrating the intrinsic link between the brand and racing since 1970. The Historic Archive supports the communication team, delivering historical contents and providing historical verification for press releases and communication materials. On the occasion of the 150th anniversary, the brand team made a book that collected one story for each year of the Martini life, under the lens of art, cinema, design, and sport. This work, carried out with the closer collaboration of the Historic Archive, became a key tool to build communication on the brand history. Archive contents are required by digital team for the brand websites and for posting on Facebook and social media. The Martini Archive has a dedicated page on the company intranet, allowing internal users to browse on the brand history. The page was launched in February 2016 and since then is available all day, every day, providing direct access to contents and downloadable files. The Martini Heritage is a precious source for internal and external exhibitions that give visibility to the brand story and highlight the archive value. The public of the Milan Design Week in 2013 saw one of the most famous Italian street artists, Alice Pasquini, painting a modern version of the White Lady, the iconic Martini poster illustrated by Marcello Dudovic in 1918. In 2013, thousands of visitors enjoyed the exhibition inspired by the story of the Martini racing team, organized by Martini in collaboration with the National Car Museum in Turin. In 2015, over 30,000 people visited the exhibition Corporate Art in Rome, which displayed, among other art objects, some old bottles and vintage posters provided by the Martini Archive. The exhibition 50 Plus The Big Game of Industry, organized by Musei Impresa, shows the Martini bottle as an icon together with other objects that marked the story of Italian industry. The exhibition is traveling around the world in collaboration with Italian embassies and the Italian cultural institutes abroad. I would end my presentation with a video of Casa Martini, the historical brand home dedicated to hospitality, located within the Martini original production site at Pessione. The structure of Casa Martini is the synthesis of different but complementary fields. The story is represented by the Martini Wine Museum and the Mondo Martini Gallery, with guided tours for groups or audio guide service for free visits. After the visit, of course, adult visitors can taste the Martini products. Business meetings, as well as special programs like Make Your Own Vermouth and the Mixology class, can be experienced in the Bar Academy and the Botanical Room. The Terrazza Martini Lounge and Bar, a special place for socializing, are astonishing locations available for business conventions and receptions. The Martini shop ends the visit with many products branded with the Martini and the Martini Racing logos for all the brand lovers. Now enjoy the video. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Anna. Any questions for Anna? I'll start off with a question. You showed the group archive. So being an archivist sometimes is a very lonely job. You're the only archivist in a company, but you have the advantage of working with archivists in other brands.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about how you work together?
Yes, of course. We generally have a meeting once per year. So we meet in one of our archives, and we schedule the work for the year, let's say. So we have some global projects that are related to scientific aspects or communication aspects. For example, now we are working to select a software for to catalog our archives. But also we work on communication altogether, for example, for the intranet, or also to share our images in the company portals. But of course, every archive is strictly related to its brand. So aside all these global activities, we have some specific activities related to our brand. So the activities go on in parallel, but of course it's a very big help to have other people working on the same task on the company. So
wonderful, thank you.
It's a strength.
Yeah. Any Anders back there?
Well, thank you for a very interesting presentation. I'd like to ask, since you are telling the story of a multinational brand, a global brand indeed, how do you combine this story with the local and regional story of the local district and the town itself? Do these stories go together, or do you find them as an additional one, or do you integrate these stories and do you document the regional history?
They are two stories that are really strictly related, because Pessione is a very small town close to Turin, and it's the place where since the very beginning Martini created and produced the Martini vermouth and sparkling wine. So we can say that this small village grew up together with Martini, and there is a very strict link between the company, and the factory, and the local territory. But of course, Martini, since the very, very beginning, became an international company. So probably this is the reason why Martini made the Made in Italy, let's say, famous all over the world, because it started from the territory to go abroad worldwide. So the link is really strict.
In that case, thank you very much, Anna, again. Thank you.